Yo, welcome back to the Jam Podcast. I'm Miller, and today I'm giving you a key for every single NFC and AFC championship team to win their respective game. Obviously, we have Washington at Philly and Buffalo at KC. So, once again, I'm going to be giving you a key to every team's scenario of winning. Let's start with Buffalo and KC because I don't want to get too biased and too into it yet. Let's build this video slowly. So, Buffalo. This team, I think, first off, let me give you an overview of what I think will happen in these games. Buffalo has a chance to win this game. And the safe choice would obviously be to take Kansas City. And, usually that's what I would do. But I've never been about taking the safe choice here. I mean, what are we really doing if I'm taking the safe choice? I'm going to go with Buffalo in this game. And I think the key for Buffalo is to play exactly how you've been playing all year. Play within your schedule. Kind of play like the Chiefs. Play how the Chiefs have been beating you for years on years. You know how to play that way now. This is the first year where it seems like you have a decent running game. Seems like you can control the game with just running. Josh Allen doesn't have to be a superhero every game. And they're averaging 136 yards a game rushing the football. They were able to run it a little bit against Baltimore. They were 9th in rushing yards this season. And against Houston this year in all their losses, they ran for 81 against Baltimore, which is horrible. They ran for 150 against Houston and 103 versus the Rams. So it's not like they can't run the football. And then they ran for 104 versus KC. And in two of those games, Josh Allen was the leading rusher. In this game, Josh Allen is going to have to be essential running the football. If they don't find a way for Josh Allen to run the football in this game, I don't think that they can win because once again, Josh Allen is an intricate an essential part of their running game. And one thing that I would give Josh Allen the upper hand on over Patrick Mahomes is his ability to run the football, especially between the tackles. So I do think that will happen. I think that will be a big part of the game plan. And once again, I do think Buffalo will win this game. Now, moving on a little bit, if they decide to get too pretty, Josh Allen throws 40 times and even has one interception, that will cause them to lose this game. And crazy enough, in the opposite way, KC, if you guys want to win this game, it has to be a light show. It has to be an old school Patrick Mahomes light show. Obviously, Buffalo runs a nickel sort of defense, so they're not stacking the box with everybody. But their safety Taylor Rapp is injured this game. So look forward to Travis Kelce having a huge game in this one. I expect it coming. And if he gets doubled, Patrick Mahomes has to win outside. This game is going to be about Patrick Mahomes. If they win this game tomorrow, it is going to be about Patrick Mahomes and him being able to pass the football like we've been able to see him do in the past. I think he can do it. I mean, it's the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs here. When I pick the Bills, it's not like, oh, the Bills are definitely going to win. It's never like that against the Kansas City Chiefs. But once again, I think KC, if they try to play their usual game of slowing down the game, limiting possessions, running the football ahead of schedule, getting 3 yards a toe, putting yourselves in manageable third downs, I think Buffalo has the personnel to where they play that game and they play that style of football much better right now. I think they're better on the outside. I think they're better on the offensive line. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, obviously, that's not the hugest difference that you would expect. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is a better player because of history, but he obviously didn't have a better season. I mean, we're talking about Josh Allen being an MVP candidate. So I think for KC to win this game, one of those guys outside has to have a huge game, whether that's DeAndre Hopkins, whether that's Hollywood Brown, whether that's Juju Smith-Schuster, who's show up in clutch moments with Patrick Mahomes. Justin Watson could have some big catches in this one. We'll see. But that's going to be the key for Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes had 196 yards in their previous matchup. So we are going to have to see. That's going to be how they win this game because Buffalo has mastered the element of not beating themselves. And obviously in Arrowhead, it's a different story. They might have a turnover anyway. But once again, I do think that they can control the line of scrimmage offensively and stay ahead of schedule in this game, which is why I expect Patrick Mahomes to have to throw the ball to beat this football team. And if it becomes a shootout to where Mahomes and Allen are going at it, I'm going to take Mahomes. I'm going to take Mahomes in that one. But that's not how I think the game is going to go. I think Buffalo is going to stay ahead of schedule. I think Mahomes is going to be forced into a lot of throwing situations, maybe a couple of third and longs, which I expect him to convert. Buffalo and Kansas City are both low end of the league in third down conversions allowed and red zone defense. So we are going to see how this fares. But once again, I do have Buffalo. And hopefully he doesn't have a passing performance like Houston. I think when I look at the Houston game this year, Buffalo versus Houston, it's like an outlier of their season. Josh Allen throwing 9 for 30. Don't think that'll happen again. They had 150 rushing yards in that game because of Josh Allen. And James Cook had a good game in that one too. But, I mean, once again, Buffalo has 3 decent backs at least. Josh Allen, who can run the football, and then it's going to be essential for them to put in that 6th offensive lineman like Joe Brady has been doing all year. I don't think Kansas City can stop that. KC has allowed 149 yards to Houston in their last playoff game, and the game before that against Pittsburgh, or not the game before that, but the game against Denver, nobody counts. Nobody was playing. But against Pittsburgh, they gave up 202 rushing yards for 6.5 yards a carry. So KC's rush defense, it has been good. It has been good. But for me to say that they will stop this Buffalo rushing attack that has been hitting on all cylinders as of late, don't think it'll happen. So, once again, I'm going to be taking Buffalo. I think they will stay ahead of schedule, and they will win this game, which is crazy because, honestly, I haven't thought Buffalo was a good team all year. I mean, we posted a podcast clip of me saying Buffalo was the most overrated team in football. And weirdly, I still do think that way. I think this is just a weird matchup, a very weird matchup for the Chiefs. And what's crazy is with the Buffalo win and how everything happened, is it fair to say that Buffalo is in a worse place if they lose this game than even Baltimore, who lost the round before? Because it seems like if you told me before the season that Baltimore was going to lose another playoff game and he was going to lose to a bad quarterback, I would have been like, yeah, this team can't come back from that. But Baltimore is in a position of Lamar Jackson had his best playoff run up to date. If we're being honest, he did have his best playoff run up to date. Now, obviously, he did not play good against the Buffalo Bills in that first half, giving up 2 turnovers. But once again, he fought back. He fought back, and that's what you want to see from Baltimore. It seems like there are stepping stones there. It seems like there is something they could overcome. It seems like there is stuff left on the table, which every year it seems like that. But you still do see the light at the end of the tunnel with Lamar Jackson's play improving at the most important position. Mark Andrews dropping those 2 were unfortunate, but you can also come back from that. But Buffalo, if they lose this game, 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, what do you do after that? I mean, obviously you don't just break down the house, but it's kind of hard mentality-wise to get back to where you were, especially next season. Anyway, you lose this game. Anyway, I mean, this is a game that you have to win. Organizationally, head coach, you have to win. Quarterback, for your legacy, you have to win this game. The fan base is begging for it. The fan base hasn't seen a Super Bowl appearance in 30-plus years. You lost all 4 of those when they happened. You're about to lose 4 straight to Mahomes. Can't happen. Can't happen. This is pure desperation football, and I think Buffalo will come through. KC, and like I said, my formula for Kansas City winning this game is Patrick Mahomes playing unbelievably throughout the air. But, and if he does do that, by the way, greatest quarterback of all time. I think if he wins this game tomorrow, he's the greatest quarterback of all. I mean, I already think he's the greatest quarterback that I've ever seen. But if he goes for the three-peat, a combination of beating Buffalo and whoever he faces in the Super Bowl, he is the greatest of all time. These legacies in this game tomorrow are completely on the line, and it's going to be extremely, because, I mean, Mahomes is going for a three-peat. Mahomes is going for something that's never been done. It only takes one loss to restart that journey of 3 years where you have to win consecutively. If he doesn't do it this year, he never will. He never will. And same thing with the Bills. Once again, if Josh Allen does not win this game, how can we ever expect him to beat Patrick Mahomes? It's like they will be cursed 4 straight losses in the Super Bowl, 4 straight losses to Patrick Mahomes, who at this point is football. He embodies winning football in this league for the past 7 or 8 years. So Josh Allen, the pressure is on. Patrick Mahomes, the pressure is on. This is what we ask for as NFL fans. Games with high stakes like these, games that you cannot tell who the clear favorite is, which is why the line is at 1.5 for Kansas City, which obviously favors Buffalo, considering the fact that this game is being played in Arrowhead, which means that they really think that Buffalo is about 2 points better. So, yeah, we will see what happens in that one, but I'm picking Buffalo, and I haven't been wrong very, very many times this postseason. I had the Commanders last week. I had the Eagles last week. I also had the Ravens last week, and the Ravens proved me wrong, but the Ravens are a funny football team, man. I mean, you would never think, with that culture they have had built over there for 30-plus years, that their star quarterback, the best player offensively they may have had in their franchise history, is kind of the reason that they haven't gotten over the hump. And I don't want to blame that game wholly on him. I don't think the game was even 50% on Lamar Jackson last week. But if you did want to put a little bit more than 50% or most of the blame on Lamar Jackson, I wouldn't blame you. I mean, he did have 2 crucial turnovers in that game to give them a 2-possession lead, obviously. They called a questionable pass interference at the end of the first half against Tre'Davious White. But once again, too many mistakes. And once again, Buffalo, if you don't play a clean game against this team, you will lose. KC feeds off of that. Let's play a clean football game like y'all been doing all year. I think you can do it, and I think y'all can get this win. Moving on. Philly, Washington. It's time. Philly will win this game. Obviously, I'm illustrating points of who or what they need to do to win this game, but Philly will win this game. All we have to do, I have the steps laid out right here. First step, eliminate Terry McLaurin. No go balls. No go balls to Terry McLaurin. He can eat as much as he wants underneath, and that's been the personality of our defense. Bend but don't break. We cannot allow Terry McLaurin to get a fade ball over top. That gets everything going in rhythm, and lately it's been 2 big Terry McLaurin plays that have kind of gotten this offense started. I mean, that screen pass out to Terry McLaurin, it was very poor tackling by Detroit. That's not happening against the Philadelphia Eagles in this number 1 ranked defense under Vic Fangio. That's not going to happen. Terry McLaurin, that long screen pass down the sideline against Detroit, that big go ball on 3rd down in the early goings of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game in the wild card round. We can't let Terry McLaurin have a big play in the first half. That will be key for Jaden Daniels getting going in the passing game. And this dude, Jaden Daniels, once again, is the goods. So that is their chance right there. That's Washington's chance, Jaden Daniels. But also another thing, don't let Jaden Daniels out to the right. Once he gets to the right of the pocket, we'll have Nolan Smith over there, by the way, so I think he got that. But once he gets to the right outside of the pocket, he is a dangerous quarterback. There's nothing else to say about that. You say that about a lot of guys. I mean, Lamar, you say that about Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. When these guys get out of the pocket, there's nothing you can do at that point. There's nothing you can do, especially with Jaden Daniels' speed. We cannot let him get outside of the pocket this game. Obviously, their right guard is going to be out. Jalen Carter should have a big game. He probably will get doubled, which will allow Milton Williams, who is also a great defensive tackle, to have his one-on-one matchup. So I think that will be a mismatch up front. And also, let's not turn the ball over. Play exactly how you've been playing all year. This team, this roster that we are playing against this week, should not make you fall in love with another style of football. A.J. Brown, this probably is not your time to shine. That might be the Super Bowl because we might have to pass it thin. But this game, against this roster, against this defense, we don't need to force. We don't need to force anything. All right, this team can win playing on schedule. If they stack the box, we'll still be able to run it, and Jalen Hurts will take advantage. I know Jalen Hurts is injured, but that doesn't worry me this week. Jalen Hurts doesn't worry me. He's not going to lose this game for us like people have said this entire playoff run that's going to happen. If anything, it's going to be about Kellen Moore not drawing up the right concepts, the right pass concepts to take advantage of that back end of the Commanders' defense, which has been better as of late, considering their rookie Sanrastril. I don't know how to say his name. Number 0. He's a player. He's a player, and then they got Marshawn Lattimore on the other side. But I will say Mike Evans won his matchup with Marshawn Lattimore. I don't see why A.J. Brown would not do the same, and I think that might be their approach. Get a lot of pressure up there, get a lot of people in the box, go one-on-one with Marshawn Lattimore, A.J. Brown, so you can win that matchup, see if Jalen Hurts can get it to him. Jalen Hurts, if he hits on that touchdown pass last week to A.J. Brown, no one is talking about us having a bad passing attack. If he catches that touchdown pass, we're up 20-10. That game isn't even close. I mean, I don't think people understand that. And then another thing, if C.J. Gardner-Johnson doesn't get ejected in the first game against the Commanders, and obviously people like to talk about Jalen Hurts getting injured in that game. If C.J. Gardner doesn't get ejected, we win that game. Jaden Daniels ran for a 4th and 11 when the game was out of the balance against, and a safety just whiffed on a tackle. Our backup safety, he just whiffs on a tackle that would have ended the game right there. But we got everybody back now. We got CJ back, and once again, we got Jalen Hurts back, and they couldn't stop Jalen Hurts when he was in the game. So, yes, the Eagles are going to win this game. If Washington wants to win this game, they have to stop Saquon Barkley. Obviously, that's kind of backhanded of what I've been saying this entire time, kind of like make Jalen Hurts beat you. But, yeah, make Jalen Hurts beat you in this game if you want any type of chance, because Saquon Barkley has been going off. He has been the MVP. He is the reason we are here. He has been the engine to this offense. So if you want to stop us, you got to stop him first. I don't think they can do it. But that is how they're going to have to win. Because if you want to shoot out if you want to use your advantage to win this game, your only advantage throughout the field is Jaden Daniels being better than Jalen Hurts. And I know I got my Birds gear on. I don't want to be a traitor to our fan base for saying that, but I think everybody knows it at this point. Jaden Daniels is probably already a top 5 quarterback. I wouldn't say that yet because he might have a sophomore slump, but he's the goods, and I know Washington wants this game to be in his hands more than anybody, but if it's in Saquon's hands against that defense compared to Jaden Daniels against our number 1 defense, I like Saquon Barkley's. I like our team better. So, once again, I am going with Philly in this one. We're going to win this game. I have no worries. And if it's Philly versus Buffalo, let me tell you right now, we are winning that game as well. We are winning that game as well. And I'm usually not wrong. So, what I'm basically saying is Philly and Buffalo are going to be in the Super Bowl this year. Once again, never thought that Buffalo would make it here in the first place, but they have. They have. So, props to Buffalo. Props to Philly for making the Super Bowl. Yes, I am making this episode on a Saturday. So, I'm just predicting the future here, and I know I'm right. So, that's it for that. But there's one thing I wanted to touch on at the end of this video. I know I didn't expect this video to be long, but this is something that I majorly wanted to touch on because it's been getting under my skin a little bit. I've been seeing certain comments that I haven't liked, so I'll address that right now. We are 3 weeks removed from 2 black head coaches playing in a college football semifinal, Penn State and Notre Dame. Obviously, James Franklin and Marcus Freeman. We're going into a championship game where there are 3 black QBs. First time in NFL history, I believe. 3 black quarterbacks in the final 4 teams remaining. Marcus Freeman obviously just played in a national championship as well. I look at these comments or these posts of SportsCenter, ESPN, or Bleacher Report acknowledging the fact that Marcus Freeman is the first black head coach to coach in a national championship game. I look at these posts where there are 3 black NFL quarterbacks playing in this championship round. And when I go to the comments on these posts, the first thing I always see is, why are we bringing race into this? Why are we bringing race into this? And let me tell you right now, I am here to say that is the most ridiculous and hateful comment, even if it is inadvertent, because I don't think the people who comment that are hateful. I think they're just unaware of what they're doing. This is a country, in a world, quite frankly, that has been tainted by the racial discrimination and racial prejudice that has always existed. So when that comment arises, it makes me think, are you completely unaware of the world we live in? When someone brings up the fact that Marcus Freeman is the first black head coach, they're not bringing race into that. Sports is a place where it's black and white. It's straight up. It's are you good at this game or are you not? If you are good at this game, you can excel, you can get all the accolades you want. If you're not, you can't. It's as simple as that. It doesn't go. So we're not celebrating Marcus Freeman being the first black head coach just because, oh man, he's black. We want to. No, we are celebrating this guy because it's a first. When LeBron James and Bronny James stepped on the court for the first time, it was a first. When Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls, it was a first. When Michael Phelps won his 23rd gold medal in the Olympics, it was a first. Nobody had ever done it before, which is why it was celebrated. The fact that Marcus Freeman was in a national championship game when there are only 16 black FBS head coaches in the country, and the comment that comes out of your mouth is, why are we bringing race into this? It's because race is already into everything. Race is a part of our history. To be ignorant to that fact would be just ignoring it, would be dismissive of the progress that we have made in this country. So the people that comment, why are we bringing race into this? Guys, I'm not coming for your character. I understand why you comment that, because in your mind, there is a little bit of guilt in the history that has been displayed towards black people. There is a little bit of, man, if we just didn't talk about race, we would have no problems. Well, it's not the way to go about it, because if you did me wrong, if you stole money from me and we just didn't talk about it ever, how would our relationship look? It wouldn't look the same. Some problems need to be addressed. So when we talk about Marcus Freeman being the first black head coach, it is because of the progression that has been shown within American sports in the inclusion of black head coaches and black quarterbacks when it was said that black quarterbacks are only great because of their athleticism, not because of their intelligence. Black head coaches aren't intelligent enough to coach at this level. Well, they're showing you now. They're showing you now. And that's what's important about it. There has been barriers broken by some of these black athletes that absolutely need to be recognized. And for you to say, why are we bringing race into this, is extremely ignorant, and it's a comment that gets under my skin. Because once again, I don't think there is any hate in that comment. Anybody who comments it, and once again, I'm not the judge of anybody. I can't judge anybody because I am not the perfect person. But why are we bringing race into this? Because we are acknowledging the progression that has happened in American sports with the inclusion of black head coaches and Asian head coaches. I think he's mixed, excuse me if I'm wrong, and 3 black quarterbacks now. Let's sit in this moment, recognize that it happens, appreciate it, and move on. It's that simple. But don't comment that and then just throw yourself out there like you don't look right sharing that comment. I'm just gonna let you, and I'm talking to you, whoever posted it, because I mean it's a comment that is brought up frequently, and it's something that a lot of people say. Why do you bring race into things? No one's bringing race into these things. Race has been brought into everything. When discrimination was first the concept. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Something that me and Gavin were talking about, and we obviously wanted to touch on. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and peace out. Go Birds.